Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast episode, Fearfully and Wonderfully Me. I wanted to do a topic that I talked about this not too long ago in a post on social, and I wanted to do a podcast episode and sort of drill down into it a little bit more, because I think that, number one, it's an important topic, and I do talk about it a lot, but I think in some ways, many of us don't realize how we hold ourselves back when it comes to our potential. See, belief drives behavior, but behavior influences belief. Now, what do I mean by that? Number one, belief drives behavior. If you don't believe something, you won't make the choices and take the actions that will make it become a reality. You've all heard the cliche, if you believe it, you can achieve it. Now, that might not be true for quite everything, right? I've said that before, but if you don't believe something is possible, you won't become the person who can make it be possible. You won't align your actions and thoughts and choices into the behaviors and steps necessary to make that potential reality. So belief drives behavior, and behavior influences belief, right? Because a lot of times, maybe we're not fully bought in or fully believing that what we want in life is possible, or probably more often, we don't believe the power that our words, thoughts, choices, actions, and habits have when it comes to creating that reality. In fact, I think most of us would tend to minimize the importance of every single thing that we do when it comes to accomplishing our goals or dreams and creating that desired future state to begin with. Because here's the thing, you aren't waiting on someone, anyone, or anything else but yourself to show up and change your life. I've read a lot of very powerful books, a lot of great principles. But those books didn't change my life. I had to do that, right? Just reading the book or listening to a podcast or watching a great personal growth video isn't enough to transform your life. And we all want something better out of life. We all have a vision of life can be better personally or professionally. And that's great. That's a beautiful thing. That's a normal, healthy human thing. And having that concept of what better looks like inside us means that it is possible, or we wouldn't be believing it to begin with. The questions that we have to ask ourselves, number one, how bad do we want it? And number two, what are we willing to do to get it, right? Are we willing to put the work in? Everyone wants something better in life, at home or at work or in their career. They want to make more money or live in a different place. Everyone wants something better, but not everybody is willing to make the changes and put the work in to do it. So it's not that you're sitting around waiting on anyone or anything else to show up and change your life for you. You are already equipped with the resources to get started, to finding the tools and developing yourself to change your life. Because it's not about something else that changed your life. It's what you did with it. I've heard people say, oh, I read such and such a book, it changed my life. No, it's not the book, and it's not really the principle. It's what you did with the principle, or what you did with what you learned, right? That's what has the transformative power. And a lot of times we don't realize that when it comes to accomplishing whatever it is we want to accomplish, we have to take a step back and say, okay, when it comes to accomplishing this goal or creating this reality or making this dream a reality, everything can matter, right? The little things become the big things when you compound them with time. So ultimately what I'm saying here is it comes down to making the choices and habits, and that starts with the thoughts and the emotions inside our head that helps us drive those behaviors that can create the reality that we want. And a lot of times we underestimate the power and the impact of choices in the moment. Most of us think about the power of big choices and big defining moments. Most of us vastly underestimate the impact of small changes, small choices compound over time. And that's really the power, right? Consistency beats intensity anytime. I've said that over and over and over again. So we have to be very intentional about making the choices that can create the reality. The right choices, the positive choices, the good choices. And if you don't believe this concept, think of it like this. You can't plant poor choices in life and grow positive results. It's just the law of nature. It's a law of the harvest, right? You have to plant great seeds in order to get a great harvest. You have to plant good seeds, positive seeds, in order to get those results. Now, you shouldn't blame others for the seeds that you've planted in the past or the seeds that maybe you are planting today, but you can plant better seeds. And in time, you can have a better harvest. And it's not too late to do that. But if you don't believe the power of this concept, believe me, if you start making poor choices every day, watch how quickly they begin to affect you and your life. Now, here's the deal. An excuse for a behavior doesn't excuse the behavior. Let me say that again. An excuse for a behavior doesn't excuse the behavior. Our excuses are more numerous than our problems. When it comes to your desired state, there are only two possibilities. Number one, that desired future state is something that you cannot create, cannot influence, and cannot achieve, right? That is a possibility. If there's something in you that you want, a desired future state, a better reality, there are only two possibilities. Or number one, it is something that you cannot accomplish, create, or influence, or achieve. Or number two, you can create it, accomplish it, or achieve it, right? Those are the only two possibilities, the only two outcomes. So if your desired future state is completely 100% truly, absolutely impossible and beyond your reach, then your focus should be on changing yourself. And an example of this, a powerful example of this that comes to mind for me is someone who's maybe had a terminal diagnosis, and they've done all of the things and tried all of the treatments, and at the end of the day, reality is that their diagnosis is terminal. And that's an example of something that you have done when you've done all you can and exhausted all the possibilities, then you've done all you can, right? And in that situation, your focus has to be on changing yourself. Viktor Frankl said, "When I can no longer change a situation, I'm challenged to change myself." And that means change your mindset in that situation. And that's absolutely reality. It's not most common. Most of the time we do have things that we want to accomplish and we can do it. It's rare. I mean, it certainly happens. Life does happen that we just simply cannot impact or achieve what we want, but it's there. And in that case, our focus needs to be on changing self. If your desired future state is possible, even if it's unlikely or it seems far away, you have to take the ownership and responsibility for working towards it. When you want a better situation, you realize, or you need to realize automatically, there is a gap between current reality and desired results. And I refer to this as the behavior gap. The behavior gap can only be crossed by exhibiting the right behaviors, taking the right actions, and making the right daily choices. Because your behavior will either allow you to cross that gap or it will not allow you to cross that gap. But if your behaviors don't serve your mission and your goals and your dreams, then there again, you won't accomplish that. And achieving that desired result starts with taking ownership and responsibility for what you did or didn't do or don't want to do. Are you taking ownership and responsibility and increasing your chances of success? And that's what it comes down to. There's no excuse for making excuses as to why we cannot do something. And so much of the time we excuse our way out of our dreams. And let me just tell you, your excuses don't serve your dreams. An excuse for the behavior doesn't excuse the behavior. And excuses won't take you anywhere you want to go in life. Talk to you next time.